turned on. The really cool thing about this is it actually like shows like our solar energy that we produce with our solar panels. But then the more fun part is our kinetic floor. So if you step on it, that noise means that it's like actually moving. And so when kids step on it, it produces energy, and then you can see how much energy you produce by like the light up tower here. And then it'll show like a little screen like you produce this much energy, and it shows comparisons to like a refrigerator, a telephone, things like that. So it's really fun for kids to kind of engage and be active in energy. And then as we move forward, you know, we just have different components in here. So we have our colorful piano that was donated to us. And then as the museum, you know, is open regularly, we'd have books here. We'd have all kinds of different like Vector toys in this area. We'd have bins full of like different Lego pieces in here. So right now, you know, with us being closed, we've had to limit a lot of what we put out. So like there's not as many Legos out. There's not as many books out, trying to limit as much touch as possible. But it's still fun. There's still a lot to do for kids here. And then as we go over here, one of our most popular favorite areas is our water table. So when it's on, there's water flowing everywhere, and it's super, super fun. And kids can build with pipes right here. So there's like little spouts that the water will come and then it'll flow out. And you know, they can kind of build different structures to see if the water can like pool to the middle or if they can connect them together. And then there's like the water wheel, so it turns and it kind of acts like a water flow, so it shows the movement of water. And then we have our evaporation station wall over there, so if you write on it with water, because it's a slate wall, it'll evaporate, and so it shows kids kind of the water cycle in just a short condensed version. We have another really popular area is our Aunt Sugar's farm, so we actually have real fish in here too, which is fun. So kids can look in and kind of see the fish moving around, so it fits with our whole water area and kind of brings it to life. And then over here, so we are sponsored by Michigan Sugar and Hosbeck Pickle in this area. So we have our very own Pete the Sugar Beet over there, so kids can take a picture as Pete the Sugar Beet. Usually we have little stuffed sugar beets, so we have Pete and Betty Beet. So Pete doesn't have a bow. Betty Beet has a little pink bow in her, so it's really fun. We have Milkshake the cow, so usually Milkshake is out and you can, you know, pretend to milk the cow. She has udders and everything. Those are fruit trees, so you can stick fruits and vegetables in them. Kids can, you know, pretend like they actually are a farmer and kind of pick the produce, do the things that a farmer would do. Then we have our kitchen, so it's kind of like a farm to table experience. So they have their farm experience, and then they can come in here and, you know, pretend to make a meal or sit down and play in the kitchen. They can put their produce away like they bought it from the store. And so that's really fun and cool for the kids because they can kind of see that process. There's our fruit stand where they can get most of the fruits and vegetables from. It's really fun because it kind of shows them, you know, the kids that can read, they can put them where they're supposed to go, or they can, you know, just use the pictures and say, what does it look like? We can put it where they need to go. And so that's really cool and fun. And then as we go to our car area, it's super exciting. And when it's all turned on and everything, this one, the tires move with the wheels, so you'll see it like turn like that. This one over here is one of my favorites. When it's turned on, it's super fun because the pedals on the floor act as a sound device. So you pull the lever there, it'll turn that stoplight on up there. When it hits go, if you push the gas pedal, it'll make the vroom sound. And then once it turns red, you have a timer here. And then it also shows how much pressure you apply. If you push the brake, it'll make the screech sound and tell you how fast you were at stopping the car and how much pressure you had to use to get it to stop. So that's really cool because it's showing kids, you know, those different ideas of, oh, you know, this is how the car goes, this is how it stops. This one's really fun because you can actually change the tires on it. So we have our spare tire here. And then the rest of the tires around the wheel areas also come off, so they can change the tire, they can put gas in the car, they can change the price of the gas, but not only that, they can do the lights and horn and pretend like they're going through a drive-through bank exhibit. So that's super fun because kids always see their parents going to the bank and they want to get money too. So what better way than to give them their own little area to get money for the bank. We have our race track over here so they can race little cars and see how fast they go, who can win. And then as we move this way, this is our try it area. So usually there's a ton of little manipulatives and they can like kind of play around with stuff, but this is our giant conveyor belt, and that is one of the kids and the parents' favorite thing to do is they turn the wheel over here and they watch it as it cranks all the way up and around so it goes, and they can move little balls. We have bright colorful balls that sit in here. So we crank it up and we turn it, and then they can see how many they can get into the basket. Can they catch them? It's really, really interactive, and it's a way to be active and engaged in learning. So we have our giant magnet wall against there, so we usually have different pipe-looking pieces that they can put balls through to see if they can get them to go into little containers. So that, again, is using the engineering and design process to see, can I make a track for it to go? Do I need to change anything? Did it go to where I wanted it to make it? And then as we move this way, we have our scrap studio. So this one's really fun. It kind of engages in art, but it's also like a maker space. So we use recycled products, and that way they can kind of make what they want. We have some ideas for them here that they can kind of base their stuff off of. And we even tried to make our own little project here to give them an idea. So, you know, we're using what we have and hopefully showing them they can make different things out of just plain old items around the house. And then we have our regular art area. So we have easels that they can paint on. This is a giant chalk table so they can draw different designs on here. Usually when COVID isn't in effect, we have Play-Doh out so they can make all kinds of different things with Play-Doh. With COVID, we're not able to put Play-Doh out because we're trying to reduce the amount of things people touch, and Play-Doh holds all of those oils and stuff from your hands, so it's not very safe. And then we have our stencil table here, so there's all kinds of different stencils. But the really cool thing is some of them are even talking about different science concepts. So there's electricity, there's magnets, there's like our seasonal ones that we can do, but all kinds of different things. So there's bugs, they can kind of see the anatomy of a bug, and it's really fun for them. They can just color it in, but they're still learning. We have our toddler area. So when there's big kids running all around, it's kind of nice to have a little safe space for the little kiddos to go. So this is for 3 and under in here. We have our own little play kitchen for them. We have a little workbench so they can pretend to be working on a project over there. We'll usually have the bigger Lego, the Duplo type blocks in here, and books for the kids, because it's really important for parents or adults to be able to engage in that reading and that early literacy with their kids. So as we continue this way, one of the most exciting things was that we got a new gallery for our 10th anniversary, but we have not been able to show anyone yet. We did not get to have a grand opening. It got put in and then everything was closed. So this is our Tinker Track. It's very exciting. It's a speedway obstacle course racetrack. So there's little vehicles that kids can actually put together and build themselves. And then there's some that'll be already pre-made so that the younger ones can kind of come and just enjoy the area as well. The tires on the wall, you can change them. So this comes off right here as you spin it, and then you'll be able to change the tire. There's spare tires over there. And then there's the cool little tunnel that they can go through that will also have fun lights for them. So this one, we're really excited that maybe one day we'll finally get to have a grand opening for this space, because we've never been able to have a grand opening yet. And then one of our final areas is our airways over here. So this one's super fun, one of my favorite areas. And it's really awesome for all ages because everyone likes to try and compete. So we have our air tubes. They put the scarves and balls in here, and then they'll flow through the tubes. And we have these little devices here that if it's turned on, it'll hold the air one way or the other. And then depending on which way you have it turned, there's 3 different areas that it can come out. So the best part is watching the adults try and catch those balls and scarves with their kids. That's one of my favorite things, watching the kids kind of try and compete with their friends, or just shove as many things in there as possible and then try and catch them all at the same time. It's super fun to watch. So, and we also use this for some of our lessons that we do. We do an air lesson, so it kind of helps show the movement of air and the properties of air. And then we have our rock wall. So this one is also closed due to COVID. We're trying to reduce touch, like I said. So it's really hard to get this one clean, and it's kind of hard to like spray it and wipe it. So we just have it closed for now because we're also looking at the safety factor. And we had a mat down, like the wrestling type mats. And as a fabric, we're not sure how easy it is to clean or if we're really getting the virus off of it. So we decided to just close this area to be safe. But some of the cool things that we've done because of COVID is updating our facility, making it a little more fun. So the eyeglasses, since we can't have eyeglasses out, we drew our own eyeglasses on there. So we made a little scavenger hunt. How many can you find of each color? What different shapes do you see? And so that was kind of fun for us to try and reinvent an area to make it a little bit more engaging than just having the eyeglasses to try on. And when we are able to have the eyeglasses out, then our wall is just going to be even more full of things for them to do. So that was exciting for us. And then we have our cardiology exhibit. So this one has a giant heart that they can look and see. It has different, areas of the heart listed on there. And then each of those different heart displays, you can push the button when it's turned on and it would play the different heartbeats. So the child is going to be a little bit faster than the adult. The unhealthy one's going to be even slower than the adult, and the dog one is going to be really, really fast, even faster than the child. So it's really fun to hear them kind of going off and hearing the kids kind of learning like, oh, this is what a heartbeat sounds like. So that's really cool for us. Again, the mouth is like super, super popular. Kids love the mouth. They love to climb in it and take pictures with their friends. But more importantly, they love to pull the teeth. So who doesn't want to be a dentist and not have to actually touch people's mouth, but be able to just pull the teeth out and put them back in just like you would as a real dentist. So it's really fun for us, really fun for them. Our operation table over here acts as a real operation table. So the game that was super cool when I was little, hopefully so cool now. They take the tongs, they can pull all the different little pieces out, but instead of having like the funny bone and all the different designs, this actually has different pieces that are the organs. So it has a stomach, it has a heart, it has the lungs, and the brain lights up when you hit the metal pieces here. So then they're seeing, oh, this is actually reacting, and maybe they wonder, why is it triggering the brain? Well, because of nerves. So it's kind of all a process, and hopefully they're learning and asking questions in between. But that is kind of what we do here, and I hope one day we'll be able to open normally. Usually we have field trips during this time, and right now we're not doing a lot of group visits. We're just open for Saturday birthday parties now. So baby steps back into being open, but we're hoping one day things will be a little bit more normal.